Hello everybody, you're going to see that I look different today than the rest of the podcast episode. That is because today is Monday, February 22nd, and I am recording this a little earlier than the rest of my podcast. However, I need to get this object in the mail, so I'm going to record it now for posterity, and because pictures just don't really do it justice. So, hi everyone, this is going to be at the very beginning of the podcast, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the episode, because past Jessie here has no idea what she's going to tell you about. I'm going to be honest. Alright, so, since we last spoke, I showed you last time the sweet and sour hat that I made for my sister. And she got it in the mail. It was way too big. Like, comically oversized. I mean, I know that I have a lot of hair, but I didn't think it would take up that much room in a hat. But it does. So, she had asked me to make her a new one. And she was supposed to go snowshoeing with it, and she had to borrow a hat from her son, my nephew, in order to go do so. So, I whipped out a new hat for her in a more appropriate size. And this is it. I'm going to mail it off tomorrow, so I just want to show y'all. This is the October hat. And I don't remember who the designer is. I'll put it down here. It is for the A Year of Hats that Kelborn Woolens did with their yarn. And the flaps, because the October hat is technically just from here up, the flaps are from the Sugar Skull cap, I believe. Again, pattern and designer will be here. Because I couldn't find a hat that I enjoyed that looked nice with cables and a pom and braids that also had ear flaps. So I had to do a little fusion of patterns. They are just a garter stitch ear flap. The braids, it's just a basic braid. I did not need a pattern for that. And I have a nice fluffy pom-pom on here from a new pom-pom maker that I will show you in acquisitions later. So this is the hat. It is made with Caron 1 pound yarn in the dark gray mix. It's 100% acrylic, and I knit it on US size 6s and size 8s. We would like to thank Stan, my head, for modeling so beautifully. And also, you guys, just so you know, this hat was super fast. The last hat I made for my sister took me like a week and a half to knit, and it had different charts for the front and back. This one, relatively the same, and it's a free download. I really liked it. I knit this hat in a day and a half. That's not bad at all. So, I will say I didn't do the full ribbing because it wants you to do a folded brim, and I need ear flaps, and ear flaps don't do you any good if they're up in this part of your hat, of your brim. So I just did the single layer of brim ribbing. So, as I said, super fast knit, day and a half, and it was done. It's an Aran weight, and it was super simple and super fun, and I really liked it. Obviously, I think I'm going to be making another one for myself, minus the ear flaps, because I don't do that. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the episode, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Hello everyone. This is future Jessie, still past Jessie for you. Today is February 26th, which is Friday. It is about 11 in the morning for me, so I am slightly caffeinated, slightly not. But that's not why you're here. We are here to discuss some knitting, crochet, cross-stitching, and a little bit of acquisitions. Not much, just a little. So let's get started. First off, if you want to find me, you can find me on Ravelry as Armywifeknitlife. I have a group for the podcast there. Just look for Petrillo the Owl. You see him at the beginning of every podcast episode that I do. I'm hoping to make that more active and lively now that I am back to podcasting because it has been a little quiet in there. We have a lot of fun friends in there, so please feel free, jump on, introduce yourself, and get to know us. If you want to find me on Instagram, I am Armywifeknitlife, or if you want my D-stash, Armywifeknitlife D-stash, all one word, no underscores or anything. We have a few things for my friends going on that I want to tell you about so that you can keep an eye out for them. Knitting on the Farm, my Gurning sister, aka friend Angela, has this gifting through the year make-along going on. So pretty much any holidays that you have gifts that you give for, where it's tradition to give gifts or exchange gifts, be it Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Christmas, Eid, whatever. The goal is to make your gifts throughout the year so that you're not spending that crunch time that you should be spending with family working on your project, because that's stressful for you. It's taking away time and enjoyment out of the project, and it's taking away time and enjoyment from your family too, and that's no fun. We don't like that. We don't support that. So go to her Ravelry group and enter if you'd like to win some prizes. My friend Ruth Loves to Knit, has a pattern giveaway ending tomorrow, Saturday. So be sure to check out her latest podcast episode so you can figure out how to win a pattern for yourself. Also, my friend Karen from Stitches and Jacks has her, let me get the name absolutely correct. It is the, goodness, wrong page. My apologies. It is the Finish and Start Kits make-along. She is Stitches and Jacks, as I said. Go to her Ravelry page, watch her latest episode, get all of the details. But just a few of them is that she's going to give out prizes quarterly. There is a hashtag, which is S&J Finishing Kits and Whips, MAL, MAL. I'll put that in the description bar. And so get some prizes. It's for any craft. It doesn't have to be knitting or crochet or yarn related. It could be sewing. It could be latch hooking. It could be cross stitch. The point is to get projects going and finish them, because that's why we buy things, right? We buy them so we can have the finished project. We like the finished project. So that's the point of her make along. So go check it out, and I hope you have fun with them. Also, my friend Jeanette wants me to remind my knitting group that we are all wonderful people, and Dawn, you are especially fabulous. We good? And Ruth is our sunshine. Nikki is our darling friend that we all love dearly. These are just a few that don't always, some of them podcast, others don't. Nikki likes to say I'm not American, though. Bad Nikki. But a lot of them do podcasts, and we're trying to get some of them to podcast. We got Ruth to do it. Yay! She's one of my favorites. Dawn does an awesome podcast on days. As we've said, Angela and Karen. Jeanette has Crafty Clegg. Lindsay has Stitch Create Love. I'm trying to think. We also have lovely Helen, and she does not podcast, but she makes absolutely beautiful projects. Beautiful. So go check them all out. I did have a quick question for everyone. I have been going through a lot of my stitch markers and project bags lately because I have been destashing, and I kind of have a pile of things that I don't want to destash. That's not what this is. But when I was chatting with them and showing them some of the things that I have, they said, well, why don't you do a parade where you show your bags and you show your stitch markers, because people would like to see them. So if you would like to see my unhealthy addiction to simply serving stitch markers and my unhealthy addiction to buying project bags, let me know in the comments, and I'm more than happy to record that video. You might be asking why I just randomly have loose stitch markers hanging around. They weren't random. This is my second time recording this podcast because I was editing the first one And my kitties were a little rambunctious this morning and wanted a little extra attention and decided to jump on my keyboard while I'm editing footage and deleted 3/4 of it since I was recording in segments. And it just, the one segment that was left, it wasn't worth it. So I was going to have to re-record the whole thing anyway. So I'd already taken off all of my progress keepers from my knits though. So these are all on projects at some point. I'm just going to go ahead and these are all for my finishes. I have this Pikachu macaron. Look at the cute tail. So cute. Also, happy Pokemon Day, everyone. Pokemon turned 25. And if you're anything like me or a 90s kid, you absolutely love Pokemon, or you've at least heard of it, watched the show, played a game once or twice. I am still obsessed. Just as I'm exposing my nerdiness with that. No regrets. This is just I call it a space poop, but it's a cupcake from Simply Serving in Galaxy colorways. This is the Artemis macaron. There we go. From Simply Serving, of course. It's got blue filling for his macaron and a cute little tail. And then the final one that was finished this week is my little ghosty. There we go. We have Berlin right here chirping, wanting attention. Alright, so stitch markers removed means that there are finished objects. I have a few. Spoiler alert, you guys. I met all of my goals. And we have a Berlin. Hi. Hi. Are you my house panther? Apparently, this is how we record podcasts now. She's not my snuggly one, you guys. This is very odd. Right. All right. So it's going to take a little longer to do this, but that's okay. First off, for our finished objects, we have Hagrid socks. Yes, you see them? Mm-hmm. There are two. These are for my aunt. They are in Nomadic Yarns Spark Sock. Look at that sparkle. Yeah, I know. They're going to be a gift for her. These are my Alex Workshop Design sock blockers. It's going to be a little interesting. So I apologize. These are my DVD socks for the month on the Zian base. This is their Pink Sands colorway. These are from my favorite Polish Etsy sock blocker shop. I will make sure to leave her name here at the bottom. Pink Sands. Sparkle again, because your girl loves good sparkle yarn. What I love about these sock blockers, though, they hang, they have the size on them, so you don't have to worry, and they're just absolutely beautiful. I'm sorry, that's a loud crash. I apologize. I'm going to be distracted the rest of the time now. I'm sorry, y'all. But she's so cute, so I figure you guys are allowed to see her. I feel very much like Deborah, a Diary of a Physicist farm gal. She's one of my darling friends. I adore her. I haven't gotten to watch her podcast lately or sit and chat with her, but she's been one of my close friends for years. And I actually had lunch with her when I was in the States visiting my parents for Christmas, pre-COVID everything, with my mom. We met at a Cracker Barrel with her on our way to Princeton. Yeah. She always has Willie in her lap when she records. So maybe it's my turn. What do you think, Deborah? My final pair of socks that are finished are Letters to Santa. And this is a Nomadic Yarns colorway, also Spark Sock. Look at that sparkle. These are my Alex Workshop Design star blockers. You guys saw the hat that I made for my sister. I have one more hat done. This is the Royals hat. And it is I call it the her hijab is her crown pattern. Because look at that crown colorwork detailing. What you think? You like it? Yeah. She likes it. You will notice it is a little wider and a little longer for a hat for a woman. But that's because since it is going to a friend of mine to wear over her hijab, I wanted to make sure that there was plenty of room so it wasn't tight. And so if she needed to pull it off for any reason, it wouldn't disturb her hijab at all. And it has room for the layers of fabric underneath. That way she doesn't have to worry about anything showing that shouldn't be when she wears it. So that's just that's why it's a little wider and a little taller, because you have more fabric to accommodate when you do that. So that's all I have for finished objects. We ready for some whips, y'all? Okay. So the first one is my Saugerties Shrug. I'm knitting this on size 9 needles from Knit Pro Zangs is what they are, on a 24-inch cable. And I'm knitting it with acrylic yarn, Caron 1 pound, in the off-white. And I can't reach it right now because I have a cat in my hand. The purple is just called Purple Violet. It does not have a Simply Serving marker on it, but it will soon. It is a shrug, and it has one arm with color work, then it's got flat in a solid color, which is going to be the purple, and then it has the actual armhole on the other side with color work too. You're so snuggly today. I like it. My other whips that I have happening, these are brand new cast-ons. This is one of the socks for my aunt for this month. This is Nomadic Yarn Spark Sock, which is a 436 yard fingering weight base. And it's knit on my Knit Picks Caspian needles with my Alpaca Dumbledore stitch marker from Simply Serving. That is, again, Fairy Tales colorway. And then I also have Sirius. There we go. It has a witch cupcake. This is also Nomadic Yarns, Sirius. And they're both for my aunt. Future cast on, once March 1st hits. This is my DVD colorway for the month. It's Heather in the Highlands. I wanted to, since St. Patrick's Day is coming up, have some green. And while I don't necessarily celebrate St. Patrick's Day, it's fun to dress up with tradition. With something that I grew up doing is always wear green. So that's what happens. Are you done? Okay. I have hands again. It's nice. Oh my goodness. So that's futures. The other thing that I have that I'm working on right now is the secret project form, well, secret stitching. I can't tell you much, but I can show you the fabric and this cute little stitch marker. Well, not stitch marker, needle minder. Oh my goodness. It's a corgi. His little heart butt. Alright, so this is my current cross-stitch project. I can't show you anything more than that because the person that it's for watches sometimes, not all the time, but I don't want to spoil the surprise for if this is one of the episodes that they choose to watch. I will show you, however, the bag that I'm keeping it in and the colors. So, this is the project bag. This cute pumpkin here is Jack. This is the Frosted Pumpkin Stitcheries mascot. These bags are made by Molly Klein Design. These are the colors that are being used. This is a 14 count Ada. It's sort of a minty green as you saw. The only color that is not in this bag that I am using, I guess a kitty knocked it off, my apologies, is number 666. It's a Christmas red is what it's called. And it's absolutely lovely. I'm having so much fun working on it, you guys. So much fun. It's going to bother me that I can't find it now. But that's okay. All right, so acquisitions. And then we'll go into goals. Acquisitions. We have from Unhitched Stitch. These are needle minders for cross stitch. You saw the corgi one on there. Pretty much what they do is they keep your needle attached to your project in one place so you don't have to worry about it slipping because it's got magnets on it. So, I forgot a whip. Oh my goodness. This is what happens when I have a cute kitty interrupt in my fat squirrel bag. It's adorable. I have my Find My Way sweater. This sweater is for me with yarn dyed by a friend. I got all of my cable repeats in. It's already been moved up for progress to show for next time since I had already recorded once. But I absolutely adore this sweater. It is beautiful. I am getting excited because I'm getting to the point where pretty soon I'll be able to try it on. Yes, this looks thin or small for me, but part of the panel for it is back here. It's just how I, see there's the split hem. It's just how I like to stop it in this pattern. I like to have it ready to go on the cable repeat because that's what requires concentration. This one, as I've said, it has the swan from Simply Serving. I don't know if you can see him very well. I like to call him one of my BTS stitch markers because right around the time that this project that stitch marker got to my house, BTS, aha, I tell you, they always make a way into my podcast. Even if I don't talk about them, they're always there because that picture right there. Next time I will show you it up close. It's a fan art drawing that was given to me by a friend for Christmas, and it's a really good picture of the boys. It's taken from an actual picture, and then she just drew it and colored it in. But they just released the song Black Swan, and in the music video and in performances they always have one that's dressed in all black, and then there's one that's white because it's based off of Swan Lake, and there's one white swan, one black swan, and yeah, so that's the white swan. Even though Black Swan, it's a beautiful song. If you haven't listened to it, give it a listen. When it first came out, I was not a big fan of it. I kind of felt like I was always waiting for the beat to drop. But having listened to it more, it really is stunning, especially with the choreography. It's just beautiful. Okay. Now we're going to go back to acquisitions. So the first needle minder I have is this I Descent. It's going to go on the cross stitch project that I got for my sister because it is Ruth Bader Ginsburg inspired, and it's called When There Are Nine. And again, I will, once I actually start it, I'm just waiting for the cone of black floss to arrive. Apologies, my computer blacked out for a second and I got worried. And I didn't know if it would still record or not, or if it would pause it or what. So if I make a funny face just a few seconds before this, that's what it is. And it blacked out and I was very worried. I'm waiting for the floss to arrive for the cone because it's going to have a lot of black stitches in it. So I figured it's just better to go ahead and buy the cone than it is to deal with the skein. So I'm waiting for it to come and then I can start it, and I will show you guys hopefully at next podcast my progress, and I can explain the pattern and the meaning behind it. The other needle minder that I got from Unhitched Stitch is Mong. Isn't he so cute? Mong, in case you don't know, is a BT21 character. BT21 is a line of characters that are part of TV shows, cartoons, there's plushies, a whole line of merchandise based around these guys. And they are all created, each character is created by one of the BTS members. This one, Mong, is created by J-Hope, which is the stage name. Hosek, Jung Hosek is his real name, but most people just call him Hobie. It's a little easier to pronounce when you're trying to learn Korean pronunciation. Hobie is more accessible, and J-Hope is, of course, the easiest, but I like to use real names instead of stage names. His character is a little dancing machine, and he as a person is the leader of the dance group, or dance unit, as they call it, the dance line. There we go. Funnily enough, though, is that all the boys have created one of the characters, but you will learn that who your favorite member is does not necessarily correlate to who your favorite BT21 character is. For instance, my favorite BT21 character is RJ, and I have a stitch marker with him on there. This one was made by my friend Corinne from Hawaii Bazaar Yarn Co. That is RJ. He is an alpaca. He is adorable. I have him in a Funko Pop and a plushie because he's so cute. I also have Mong in a Funko Pop, and I have Koya, which is like a koala type character, in Funko Pop form. Koya is the one that's created by my favorite member of BTS, but he's not my favorite character. Actually, Jin, I love all of them terribly. They're all wonderful and incredibly talented. My least favorite, because I like them all, is Seokjin, though, but everyone calls him Jin. He created RJ. And Jin doesn't get enough love. He's very talented, but people say he's just there for his looks. He's not. He has a beautiful, strong singing voice, and he hits some high notes I can only dream of. So, yeah. But, yeah, so he created my absolute favorite. For other acquisitions that are not cross-stitch related, I have, we'll go with this one first. This is the pom-pom maker I was telling you about from past Jessie that I used to make the pom for my sister's hat. This one, you will see, is brand new and in the box. It is going to be a prize for when I hit 300 subscribers. So if you have not liked and subscribed, please go ahead and hit the red subscribe button so we can get to 300 and you have a chance of winning. Okay, this is just one of the things. There's going to be others, but I had to order 2 on Amazon in order to get the one. So what am I going to do with 2 pom-pom makers? I can only make one at a time. So this will find a home with one of you guys. All right, now we can get to the actual yarn acquisition. It's so beautiful. I love it so much. So much. There we go. Perfection. This is from my friend Kelsey, who is knitting Nikabi. She uses all natural dyes, and she uses a mulesing-free non-superwash merino. This is her DK base. Also, if you don't know what mulesing means, I don't want to explain it because it's kind of gruesome, and that's not what this podcast is about. And I don't want anyone who's not aware of it to listen to it and get upset or anything. So if you are curious, please look up what mulesing is. It's not a good practice. I really don't like it. So just be prepared if you do look it up. It's not pretty. So I really appreciate that she takes the time to get it from a mulesing-free source. This is her Sugar Plum colorway. All of this is DK weight. It's for one specific cowl that she also designed. I'll tell you more about it in a second. This is the DK weight Sugar Plum, naturally dyed with logwood. Her DK weight has 246 yards to the gram. This is the chimney base. It's sort of a taupey gray, and it is dyed with avocados. These are going to be used to make the pattern that she designed called the Demelza cowl. She also did the shawl, but I like the cowl version. I like them both. I own them both. I'll use a cowl more here first than I would a shawl, and I have a bunch of shawls that I am in line to make, but I'm always looking for a quick cowl to knit because they make great gifts. All right, so with that, we are going to discuss goals for March. Here's my list. I want to finish the first chart of my Saugerties Shrug. I'm currently on row 25 of the chart. There are 50 rows to the chart, so I am already halfway through with my goal. Yay! I want to cast on and finish all 3 pairs of socks for the month. So my DVD and Heather in the Highlands, and my Sirius and Fairy Tale socks for my aunt. I want to do 4 cable repeats on my Find My Way sweater. I want to cast on the cowl with the Knitting Nikabi yarn. And I want to crochet a second pocket shawl for my friend's mother. Because last month, well, earlier this month, you guys saw that I had crocheted a pocket shawl for my friend Kat. I mailed it to my mother with plenty of time, so it would get there about 3 days before she had to leave. However, Snowmageddon hit, and they stopped delivering mail to her house 4 days before she had to leave. So it has since resumed. My parents were very lucky. They didn't have any problems with water, or, well, actually take it back. They did not have hot water for about a day and a half, but they did have running water in their home, and they did have their electricity the entire time. They're in Mississippi, so they weren't in the worst parts of the storm. We're very thankful for that. We're also thankful because we lived in Kansas long enough, and since my parents visited Germany when I was there this past Christmas, they had cold weather gear to help them if anything was, should the power have gone out, they had something warm and they would be okay. But since then, the mail has since resumed. My dad got the package, took a picture of it, sent it to my mother to show to Kat, since she's with her, and Kat's mother. Kat loves it, and Kat's mother absolutely adores it, and it's in her color palette too. So, I'm supposed to see them in May. We're all supposed to go to Myrtle Beach after we've all quarantined, and we're going to be at our timeshare. We're not going anywhere in the town. We're just going to sit together for a week, eat food, play dominoes and cards, have fun. We are not outdoorsy type people, so we are not going to be outside in the public. We don't like people other than ourselves. But so she really liked it. I want to surprise her with this. So I want to go ahead and get it done. That way I don't have to worry about it or rush, because this is going to be taking place at the very beginning of May. And since I have so much that I'm trying to do for my knitting goals and cross-stitching goals, I want to make sure I give myself enough time to get it done without stress. So that is a goal. I'm going to also try and work really hard to get these knitting goals done, because I have the desperate, deep-rooted urge and need to cast on a Ripple Bralette DK by Jessie May. I can't remember her name. Jessie May, I think. I'll put her name here. I have the yarn for it. I've wanted to knit it forever, just as something comfy to wear around the house. And I think it would be great for jammies. But I don't know if I'm going to have time for it this month, but I'd like to try and get there. I also have the intense urge to cast on a boxy. I know it's crazy, but I want to cast these things on, and they're not part of my goals because they're not things that I need to have in the immediate future or that I've planned for all this year. They're just extra things. So they will inevitably most likely be in my April goals, but I'd like to try and get them started in March. Okay, also, last little thing, you guys. When we were leaving Germany, I recorded a video of my home. It only has government furniture in this video. And I want to know if you guys are interested in seeing it. It's probably going to be on the channel anyways, because when you are moving into military housing, pictures don't really tell you what it looks like or other things just about the house that you should know. And blueprints also don't do it justice. And especially when you're moving to Germany, there are so many different off-post government housing options that there isn't one set formula. So if they say you're going to be in Urbendorf, their houses are completely different than Kohlberg or Eschenbach or Prasoth. They're all different. And so when we were told where our house is going to be, I scoured YouTube trying to find something that could show me what my house would be like before I went over there for the tour to see if I wanted to accept it, because it would give me things to look at and know to watch out for. Because a lot of times in empty house videos that military families do, they'll say, hey, this is typically a problem that we deal with in this home. Keep an eye on it for yours. See if yours has this or this. But there weren't any for my street because there's only 8 homes in my town that I lived in at the time. So I created this video with the little government furniture that I had. It's very rushed. It's not the best, but it gives a basic layout. And there are times where you'll say, Jesse, who cares about a window or something? But trust me, for the people that are moving in, these are things that I wish I had known when we got there. So I had some sort of knowledge or setup, because when you're told you're going to this place, you're going to live there for 3 years and you don't know anything about it, your first thing is, I'm going to research. I'm going to see what there is. Hello again, Berlin. Oh boy. This is going to be a fun day, I can see. But so I just want to let you guys know that's probably going to be showing up on here. You don't have to watch it. If you'd like to watch it, feel free. Comment on it if you do, because it'll just help it be more visible for future Army spouses that are getting sent to live in Kohlberg. So, with that said, I will see you guys in 2 weeks, and until then, do what makes your heart sing. For me, it's 2 sticks and string. See ya!